everybody, and welcome to Mount St. Mary's Weekly. This is a new television program, as we're going to do a 15-minute program here looking at the women's basketball program here at Mount St. Mary's. My name is Adam Pohl, and I'm joined by Coach Bryan Whitten. And Bryan, here early in this season, I know you've got to be excited to get everything underway here.
Without a doubt. We were really looking forward to this year. You know, we have a lot of experience returning, a lot of impact players coming back, and we think if we stay healthy and do the things we need to do, that come conference time, we'll be ready to compete for an NEC championship.
And here in the NEC, last year you came in 7th place, surprised a lot of people by making that jump. This year predicted to be in a similar spot, but I know your girls are excited to be able to kind of have a similar season in surprising everyone.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, last year I think we were picked 10th and we finished 7th, and going into the last game of the year, we win, we finish 4th. We lose, we finish 7th, and didn't get it done at that time, but put ourselves in a great situation to accomplish some of the things that we had set out to do last year. And really had a great run last year, you know, winning 6 of the last 7, and again, majority of that team returns, and we're hoping to build on that and continue an upward swing.
And you started this year early in the year. You got a very big road win at Ryder, in which Sydney Henderson pours in 30 points. Talk about that game.
Had a great game against Ryder. You know, I don't think we defended as well as we're capable of, but we found a way to win. And you know, part of that was Sid making shot after shot after shot. And she struggled in her first game against Maryland. Shots didn't fall for her, right. But against Ryder, she came out and pretty much knocked down everything she threw up.
You have so many players that can score from the guard position, and it's not necessarily through your point guard, Selena Mann. Talk about Sydney Henderson, of course, Kayla Grossett. She's been big as far as putting up points early this year. She
had 2 real good games, 17 against Maryland, 14 against Ryder. Kayla does some good things. She's a very strong guard. We actually are playing her at some forward as well because of her strength. And when she's at that spot, she creates a lot of mismatches against players that are bigger than her. You know, she's a little bit quicker and can face up and can score some different ways. But the 2 of them, Sydney and Kayla, are really scoring the ball well. Selena, you mentioned, doesn't put a lot of points up on the board. Probably puts up critical points. I mean, she's a great foul shooter, so she, you know, when the ball's in her hands at the end of the game, we feel very confident. If we get fouled, we're going to get some points on the board. But the thing Selena does for us is really sets the tone, both offensively and defensively. Defensively, she's been in the top 5 in the country in steals the last 2 years, so she really affects things in that way. And then offensively, she gets us into our stuff. And you know, I think we have some talented players, and as we get rolling and get more comfortable, she's going to be a huge facilitator in that respect.
And Selena Mann, of course, is the senior point guard, really a star on this team. The thing that stood out to me last year watching you guys play is how many rebounds she was able to get. I mean, she really does just about everything on the floor.
She does. I mean, you know, we joke with her, you know, her stat line every game is 5-5-5-5. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. And so she does a little bit of everything, you know, and she's a stat sheet filler. I mean, I don't know if she is, you know, going to knock your socks off in terms of scoring points, but when you look at her stat line, you know, she's 4 for 4 from the foul line, she's 3 of 5 from the field, and she has her rebounds, assists, and steals. So she really affects the game from end to end on both sides of the ball.
Later in this show, we're going to be able to sit down with Jessie Kaufman, who's a local product from Damascus, Maryland. Tell us how you got Jessie to come into the program here at the Mount, and how she might be one of the most unique players in the NEC Conference.
Well, without a doubt. You know, first, recruiting Jessie, we were on Jessie for a while, and Jessie was really deciding on whether she wanted to stay home or go away, you know, in her recruiting process. And we had her up. She probably came to campus 5 or 6 times, so we had a great relationship with her prior to her committing. And then in May, she came up one day and did an unofficial visit, kind of just hung out with the girls, played some pickup with the girls, and you know, called probably a week later and said, hey, I want to come. And we were ecstatic. You know, I think Jessie is a unique player. I think you hit it right on the head. She's a mismatch for a lot of people. I mean, you don't find a 6'2" kid who shoots it like she does. So, you know, we run a lot of guard stuff for Jessie because she can shoot it, and she played a little bit of guard in high school when there's a post player on her. When they try to go a little bit quicker on her and maybe a little bit smaller and get a guard on her, we'll put her inside, and now she's 6'2", going against 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". So she definitely presents a lot of mismatch problems for a lot of people.
And finally, Coach Whitten, you got 4 games in the books. What do you see as the main thing you guys are working on here towards taking the next step here into the month of December and beyond?
Well, we talked about getting healthy beginning of the conversation. You know, Ashley Christie's out for a while, and that's a huge loss for us. Jen Carney has been out a little bit with some concussion issues, and we've really only practiced 10 people since we've started. We have a couple players out with some nagging injuries. So once we get healthy and get our reps and hopefully into the NEC season have everybody back, we're really looking forward to that. But until then, obviously, we got to play games, we got to compete, we got to get after it. So in practice, we're really working on finding our defensive intensity. I mean, we're giving up way too many points right now. Right. And that's not Bryan Whitten basketball, that's not Mount basketball. I mean, we've always been a very, very good defensive team, mid to low 50s, and that's what it's going to take for us to do the things we need to do. And part of us giving up some points is our rebounding disadvantage. We're not rebounding the ball really well on either side. So if we're not getting offensive rebounds, we're not getting easy second shots. And if we're not getting defensive rebounds, the other team is getting easy second shots. So we need to rebound more efficiently at both ends. And I think what you'll see is opponents' points per game go down and our points per game rise a little bit.
Folks, that's the head coach of Mount St. Mary's women's basketball, Bryan Whitten. We're going to take a quick break here on Mount Weekly. And when we return, I got to sit down with Jessie Kaufman, who we talked about just a bit briefly earlier. That's coming up next as we return with more right after this.
Hi, my name is Erin Reagan. I'm from Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. I'm a women's swimmer majoring in nursing. And I'm proud to be a Mount St. Mary's Mountaineer.
Well, hello and welcome back here to Mount St. Mary's Weekly, as my name is Adam Pohl, joined here this week by Mount St. Mary's women's basketball player and Jessie Kaufman. And Jessie, you know, you've had a great start to the season, and I know things are maturing for you. Tell us about your outside game, how you're able to pull defenders out and knock down the long jump shot.
Ever since I've been playing, I've always been a tough matchup for fours, for fives. I'm a lot taller than most of the four players in our league and players that we play against. And I've just been able to develop an outside game. I love to shoot the three. It comes naturally to me. A lot of times in the sets that we run, we have switches between the fours and the fives, and I'll have a slower post player on me, which makes me able to, you know, take them outside, look for my shot, take them off the dribble, and then also sometimes I can post up smaller forwards or sometimes even three players.
And in your first home game of the year here against Campbell, you really showed that. At one point, you had scored half your team's points, and you did it really via that three-point basket.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I think about Campbell, the reason why I was able to produce so much on our offensive end, is I had an in and out game. I did knock down some threes, but I also was able to get the inside looks that I'm not usually getting. I mean, a lot of times I rely on the three, and Coach Witt and my assistants have really helped me develop that inside game that all forwards should have.
And you've got to have that on the defensive end, of course, as well. And this year, the one player you guys lost was Sandra Andreessen to graduation. So you and Tara Lonergan down low, Rachel Matthews and such. So important to be able to have that post presence.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we really have to work on our rebounding. Every team that we play seems to try to out-rebound us. Yeah. And, I mean, second chance points are huge. We're not really going to look to run that much, so we need to be able to control the pace of the game, and that means getting rebounds and having the ball in our hands.
You're from Damascus, Maryland. Is it exciting playing so close to home?
Yeah, I really love it. My parents come to all my home games. I love being able to have that support in the stands, especially this being like towards the end of my career. I want to see those familiar faces, you know, supporting me and cheering me on.
And as you guys get geared up towards conference season, what have you really been working on to take that next step forward?
I think this year we just have really high expectations for ourselves. I mean, we were ranked 7th in the preseason poll. We don't take that very lightly. It's something we're serious about. So we're really working on our rebounding, our defense, and just coming together as a whole and working towards that goal.
Well, Jessie, thank you so much for your time today. We look forward to watching you here in the season to come. Best of luck. Conference schedule is right around the corner.
Thank you so much.
We're going to be back with Coach Whitten right after this.
My name is Brian Baldini, and I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm a men's lacrosse player, and I'm majoring in business. And I am proud to be a Mount St. Mary's Mountaineer.
Welcome you back here to Mount Weekly. My name is Adam Pohl, joined once again by the head coach of Mount St. Mary's women's basketball, Bryan Whitten. Brian, we just got to talk there with Jessie Kaufman, and you spoke a bit about her on the court persona, but she is really a lot of fun off the court as well, isn't she?
Great personality kid. You know, when we recruit, I mean, obviously we want good players, but we want good people. We want good kids, you know, good students, good representatives of our team and our school and our program. And Jessie's one of the best. I mean, she has a great sense of humor. She's very outgoing, always cracking jokes, very supportive of her teammates, and just a great kid to have in your program.
Let's take a look forward here for your program. You got a few home games upcoming, which is a nice change of pace after a long start on the road with Maryland Eastern Shore on December the 5th, and then the Naval Academy later that weekend on Saturday the 8th.
Two very tough opponents, two local opponents. We like to try to build up those local rivalries. Both are Maryland schools. UMES is going to be very young. You know, they're going to be a very, very young team. I think they have 9 freshmen and sophomores, so they're going to be a little bit inexperienced, but they're talented. So, you know, with that inexperience, they don't really know what they have. So they don't have any preconceived notions. We're good. We're not good. We're just going to go out and play. And right. You don't know. You know, their coach Fred, I'm sure, doesn't know on a nightly basis what he's going to get. Exactly. So as trying to prepare for them is very, very difficult. You know, because they haven't established anything yet. Naval Academy, Stephanie runs a great program. I mean, the last 2 Patriot League championships they've won, been to the NCAA tournament, battled Maryland very, very tough last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Off to a decent start this year. Just a very talented team, very well coached, very well disciplined, and it's Navy. You know, I mean, you get to, you know, Army, Navy. You know, anytime you get to play a school of that magnitude, you know, it's a step up, and it's definitely a challenge.
Finally, Coach, you've got the season underway, obviously. First 4 games under your belt. What are you looking for as you guys get in towards conference play? This is a time to really grow once you have a few games under your belt in practices and your final non-conference games before the heart of your schedule.
We just want to get better every day. You know, our non-conference schedule is very, very difficult. I mean, we played the 3 BCS schools in Seton Hall, Pitt, and Maryland. Howard was picked to win their conference. Last year, Navy won the championship. Lehigh was in the Final Four in their conference. American was in the Final Four in that conference. So we have a real tough non-conference schedule, and we're not 100% healthy right now. So the players who are playing now, we're looking for improvement in them. As a team, we're looking for improvement, and hopefully, as we get closer to NEC play, because that's really what matters. You know, the 18 conference games. We all want to win our non-conference games, but for us in the NEC, you got to win your conference to go to the NCAA tournament. So building up towards that is our goal, and as long as we are, you know, as good as we can be come January 3rd or 5th, whatever our first conference game is, that's what's really going to matter to us.
Well, folks, that's head coach Bryan Whitten, and this has been Mount Weekly with the head basketball coach here on the women's side in Coach Whitten. We thank you for being with us. We'll be having a show once again in December, and then in January, we will start to have these 15-minute programs on a weekly basis. My name is Adam Pohl. We thank you for being with us, and we thank you for your support of Mount St. Mary's Athletics.